Okay, so here's our first engine choice that we're mocking up. See if this will work. It's a 5.9 Cummins, it's a 24 valve. The CPL in this says it has the potential to be in the low 200s on power, anywhere from 190 to low 200s. I can't remember. Anyways, this engine had a few purpose-specific items on it. We've got an air intake temperature here. We don't have the heater hooked up, which we will, the grid heater. We also have coolant levels on this for sensors on the dash. You have normal, you have low, and there's a few other little things on here, because this isn't out of a pickup truck, this is out of a medium duty truck. Took the transmission off, and of course, you know, we had a little problem with maybe 2 of the steel bolts going through aluminum were seized and snapped off. The rest of them came out okay. It was an AT545. We're not going to be using that one. I want to use a better transmission than that. They make too much heat. They don't have a lockup torque converter. They just rob power. You see, this is pretty interesting. You don't see this too often. This is a clutch, electromagnetic clutch that runs the fan. Plugs in here. So, like I said, there's a few things that are purpose specific on this, but I like where it's sitting. We're sitting just right about where we want to be on the bottom. It's going to make it a little bit easier to work on until until I put it where it really belongs. Like you see here, the sump, got a sump, whatever you want to call that, tap where they're pulling off the sump or returning the sump. I don't remember what it was now, but this engine has to come up forward about 1 foot. So we're going to basically be putting this much of the engine will be right up in here. May create a few challenges for some of the stuff, but I don't think it's going to be that critical. I just want to get it up a little bit farther, and we'll get the fan clutch on. That front mount needs to be right into here as close as we can get it. So anyways, this is what I'm thinking for right now, at least for this one, see if this is a possibility. So this is the cooler pack I was going to use, but it's way too wide. There's just no way in the world I can get it in between the frame. It would have to go outside it. Now, they do make replacement centers that you can, you know, weld this back together or whatever, but I think we'll just look for another air charge cooler. It also had these really cool fins. They're air-powered fins that open and close in here, which if we can use them, that'd be great, because that would make it warm up a lot easier and keep constant temperatures. So this is the radiator we're going to use, and we've got it pretty much hung, cleaned off. She's just sweeping all that up so we can slide it in. We're going to set it down in there, see what it looks like. So you guys saw this didn't fit. We are lacking 1/4 of an inch of going in. So if we got to take it apart, I'm not going to try and change it for 1/4 inch. This is a bracket that holds the top tank, and the bottom tank holds everything square. What I'm thinking about doing is taking it off, and there's this little piece of sheet metal in here. It's like 1 inch in that way. I'm thinking about taking those off and re-drilling this bracket. These holes are 1 7/8 center to center, so I'm thinking about going whatever half that is, probably 15/16 of an inch, I think, and drill it like this, take that sheet metal out of the middle and just move those in on either side, and that is going to give me 2 inches of clearance, which will allow me to use the mounts the way I want to. And I'd like to use this radiator because it's in really good shape and it's not that old. So that will get the radiator situation handled. But now we have to talk about the thing that has been bugging me since we started this, and I've tried to justify it and leave it alone. Unfortunately, I just can't do it. I don't like where the cab sits versus where the frame drop is. The reason it's like this is because I chose to use that suspension, and that suspension required me to have enough room in there for that long leaf spring. I wanted a nice ride, and that meant using, well, I wanted to use this suspension because it is a very nice long leaf spring. I was going to add an airbag for support, but get the ride out of that leaf spring. Well, unfortunately, that meant that it had to come way back here, and my drop cut had to be way back here, and I just don't like it. I've had it mocked up with fuel tanks up here like I was thinking. I thought it would be okay. Get the radiator in here, the air charge cooler, and my stacks, and I thought it would be okay. It wouldn't be a big deal, but I got to tell you, I just hate it. I hate every single aspect of it, so we're going to be making a change. I know this is going to cause me a ridiculous amount of work and time and effort, but I guess it doesn't matter. We're going to move this cab back 2 feet. I'm going to move the back of that cab to be right about in this area right here. And that means I have to make my own suspension if I want to use that axle. And when I move the cab back, that means my mounts are not going to work. I'm going to have to remake the front cab mounts. And you know, that sounds like it's a big deal and all that, but to be honest with you, I would much rather do all the extra work than to build it this way. I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. So that's where we're headed with this. Now I got to tell you, I am measuring for something else as well as another option. So if that comes about, that'll throw you guys for a loop that probably nobody will see coming. But anyways, I'm thinking about that, still working on it. We'll go from there. I would love to get this thing functioning, get the transmission in it, get the rear end set up and all that, and start working on the fine-tuning details. It should be going pretty quick right now because this is where we're at, but there's so many things to figure out, and I have learned so much, and I've made so many mistakes I've had to correct, but that's okay. It's just part of the deal. So anyways, let's see what we can come up with now. This is so much better. It may not look like it to you guys, but my wife and I took a day. We cleaned everything away from the original Lodestar chassis. We got it outside. We cleaned that bay up, swept it up real good, got all that horrible grinding dust, blew off everything and cleaned up. And the reason is I wanted to put the Cargo Star over here so they can stay here all winter so we can continue to work on it. I got it on rollers, so when we need to, we could hopefully bring it over this way or diagonal if we need to make some other changes or what have you. Now, one of the reasons we did that is because I like to keep this bay open. It's because I like to do a lot of work in here in the winter. This is pretty nice because this shop heats pretty easy, stays pretty warm. It's well lit now with all of our new lights. Actually, we're going to be adding some more lights. We're going to add one there, and one there, and one there, maybe even here and here, but I can't do that until, you know, this shop art leaves. This has had 2 birthdays now sitting here. So if my son is watching, how about we get this thing out of your dad's shop so he can have it back? Huh? I'd like to have this out of here. And to the friend of mine who wanted this toolbox so badly, told me don't sell it to anybody, he'd take it. He bought it 6, 7 years ago. I'm still storing this thing. Come and get this before I finally just sell it to somebody else, and sucks to be you. That's how that works. You know what? I might just own that again for storage fees. That's what may happen there. Ugh, so aggravating. Anyways, I want this bay open because I got another truck I need to bring in, and it shouldn't be a really big, huge involved build, but I need the space. And the rainy, cold, wet weather's coming. I don't want to do it outside. I want to do it inside. So let's go. Let's get a truck. All right, I'm here picking up a truck I bought. This is an 05 International 9200i. It's got a C13 cat, 10-speed manual, runs and drives, just taken out of service for age. So we're going to check all the oil and the fluids, make sure she's good to go, and we got to put some lights on the back. It's got dual PTOs on it. And Power divider. 800 and some thousand miles on it. 10-speed Eaton Fuller. And yeah, decent old truck. So let's I gotta do some paperwork. I already paid for it, so just have to do paperwork and put some lights on the back because I didn't have any. Was a road tractor. Used to have the handle for a spike brake there. Battery box in nice shape with a good lid. Here's where the airlines were for the fifth wheel. Double framed. Frame's got a little bit of rust jacking here and there, but nothing horrible. Nothing we can't live with here in the Rust Belt. Someone's replaced that hanger maybe? Bags are down. Yeah. It's probably gonna need a little bit of brakes. Yeah, tires. I haven't decided what we're gonna do with it yet, if it's put it on the road or parts, but it was a good buy, so I'm alright with it. See, they added on the frame right here. So they probably moved all this back from where it was originally. Nope. Let's see. That's the outer frame they extended. So the inner frame's probably split in here somewhere, maybe. Tires are all mediocre, just enough to get home. But that's okay. It may just be a parts truck, and I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. But anyways, let's go. I'm gonna take care of some paperwork, and then I'll wire some lights in. This is my tow bar light, or tow light, and it plugs in right here. I just took a plug today and just threw some wires on it. We'll run them up that junction box, and we'll bungee it to the back. Alright, so all the fluids are up. We got our light bar on the back, and now we're ready to take off. It runs extremely well. We'll go over the particulars of it here when we get back, but very attractive truck for several reasons. Clutch brake works if you push it in all the way. Okay, let's get going. It runs and drives really well. Slight pull to the right, and the jakes aren't working. Cruise control, I didn't try. Shift's beautiful. Runs great. Steering's tight, just a little bit of a pull to the right. But it's not even noisy like your typical International with a busted up dash. It's pretty quiet in here. Even hit these bumps and nothing on the back. So the ABS light's on. They think it's a right front wheel speed sensor or the hub, the reluctor ring, one or the other. And yeah, it's just got some rust on the frame and some, maintenance, tires, brakes, that kind of crap. But really nothing significant. Nothing like a major ordeal, just maintenance. The air conditioning even works, and it's cold. I don't know. Might be a diamond in the rough right here. Oh, and it runs and drives. I mean, it's got all kinds of power. It's a C13, which obviously there's nothing on it, but, very peppy. Twin turbo setup, so you get that, it spools up, the small turbo spools up quick right off the line, so that's helpful.